Welcome back to the Midlife by Human Design podcast. I'm your host, Lori Lisai, and I help midlife women learn how to use your human design so you can shed the shoulds and be who you came here to be. On today's episode, we're talking about New Year's resolutions and intentions and how to actually start the new year in a way that helps you feel really great. And I am also, if you're local, teaching a workshop on intention setting with my friend Kim Horton. A little bit of yoga, a little bit of intention setting, a little bit of human design, all wrapped up together to help you start the year in a way that feels really, really meaningful. So check out the link in the show notes and let's dive in. Hello, beauties. Welcome back to Midlife by Human Design. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that I am in my painting clothes. It has been such a busy few weeks with the holidays. And today I capped it out with a house project. I finally repainted my bathroom, which was amazing. And also, usually I record my podcasts sometimes on Fridays, if I have my shit together. And most of the time on Sundays when I don't have my shit together and or I'm just waiting for some kind of inspiration in terms of what I want to talk to you about. And I usually take my inspiration in response. So like just trying to get the pulse of what's going on, what are you talking about, what might you need, what conversations am I having with people, and or how am I feeling and what might I like to share with you. So today's episode is going to be short and sweet because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm fucking exhausted and you can probably hear that in my voice. Part of it is the holiday season. It's kind of like, I don't know if you feel this way, but sometimes I feel like I need a vacation from the vacation because, you know, in terms of the holiday magic at my house anyway, it's mostly made by me. Thank you. I want to thank myself for bringing the holiday magic. Thank you very much. And, you know, it takes energy. And so I'm a little bit snoozy. And so I'm going to keep it real quick today. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was the fact that it is the new year, and this new year starts us off with a Capricorn stellium, which just means that there are a lot of planets in Capricorn right now, and so this year actually has us starting off differently than the last couple of years, because the last couple of years we've started off with planets in retrograde, Mercury in particular. And Mercury is not in retrograde or not retrograde right now as we start 2026. And there's kind of this like, oh, let's go energy. And so that is great. Here I am like with a project on the end of a vacation, right? And it's also laying the groundwork for resolution time, you know. This time of year, people tend to want to clean up from the debauchery of the holidays. Debauchery meaning eating way too much sugar, drinking way too much wine, having a few too many cocktails, you know, classic cocktails. So that's all well and good. But what I want to talk about is that the New Year's resolutions seem to be changing, and I think that's a really good thing. I don't hear myself nor my friends talking about New Year's resolutions in the way that we used to talk about them. Part of it is like we're kind of over it. I feel like it's like you've made New Year's resolutions so many years in a row, and then without fail, almost to a T, people just either forget about them or they deep six by February 15th. And so I think that a lot of people our age are just like, fuck it. Why bother? What do I really need to set a resolution? I'm not even going to bother doing that. I'm just kind of over it. Maybe one that people have been setting that I notice a little bit more, which I think may very well be linked to how we feel in perimenopause and menopause, drinking alcohol. So doing dry January. And that's almost a cultural thing that people have been doing more and more of. But besides that, I don't hear a lot of resolution talk. And I think that's probably a good thing because we have to remember that, oh shit, I forgot to check the percentage of people, but it's like 33-ish% of the population has a defined heart center, which means that 77% of us, 67, oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm sorry, my mathing. The majority of the population does not have a defined will center or heart center. And if you've been listening to the pod or studying human design for a bit, then you remember that our heart center is about willpower. It's also about our desires. And I don't think that's by mistake that those two themes come together all in the heart center. The heart center being our seat of willpower, it's like if the majority of the population does not have this willpower, then why do we feel this constant pressure to set a New Year's resolution? And then probably even the worst part is beating ourselves up when we don't make it. We fall off, right? We aren't committed to it. And the thing is that the majority of us don't have that as part of our energetic design. Our energy is designed to be inconsistent when it comes to willpower. Now, obviously, 30+% of you do have a defined heart and you do have more consistent willpower. But the heart also is not it's not this consistent driver that's on all the time. It's similar to the root in that it kind of is cyclical in its ability to give you that willpower. So even if you are pretty consistent with your willpower, you can still go through cycles. And this just leads me back to thinking about us as humans being very cyclical beings and getting away from checklists or setting goals or making resolutions that end up making us feel less than because we haven't accomplished what we set out to do. So what I want to encourage you to do this year is to set heart-centered intentions instead. And think about, how do you want to grow this year? You know, what kind of woman are you becoming in this phase of life? Midlife is this phase of redefinition. And my hope is coming back to our wild woman. So how do you invite her in more often? And I've talked a lot about like 1-degree pivots. How do you start to focus on just the 1-degree pivots instead of a complete overhaul of your life? So, for example, maybe you want to clean up your diet, like you've gone on a sugar bender and drank all kinds of alcohol over the holidays, and now you decide that you're ready to clean things up. Okay. Number one, if you decide you're going to do that, do it because you want to take care of your vessel, not because you feel like you look fat or you just, you feel gross or whatever. I want you to feel good about yourself. And I want you to check yourself when you've got negative self-talk. Look, I'm coming here to record a video podcast and I got like no makeup on. I have my my hair up and my hat on. I've literally got my painting clothes on. I am just showing up real. I'm real. And I'm offering you these words from my heart. And I'm believing that if they're meant for you, they will be enough. And I want you to do the same thing for yourself and understand that when you look in the mirror, especially us as midlife women with our bodies changing and, our skin isn't as tight and we may have mental belly or whatever the case may be, looking at your body and just giving it some love for carrying your soul in this lifetime and really checking that negative self-talk. We're talking about heart-centered intentions. So if you're intending to clean up your diet, maybe you start drinking some green juice. Maybe you learn how to make green juice first. So easy. Celery, kale, green apple. Could throw some pineapple in there. Water, blender, Vitamix the shit out of that, and then drink it up. So yummy. Maybe you decide just to drink some green juice. And that's like one thing that you're doing to take care of your body. And with all of these 1-degree pivots, using some kind of tracking system to keep track of what you're doing. And then you can see the collective progress that you're making. And of course, I'm going to remind you that I've got a planner to help you do this. So if you haven't gotten it yet, the link is in the show notes. And along with that planner, I'm also doing a private podcast to give you the lowdown on the astrological weather and the gate transits for every single month. So, when you're tracking your progress on these different things, you've got a place to write it down and to see like, holy shit, actually, I did drink green juice 3 days out of the week for the last month. Yay me. And your body probably feels really great for it. And maybe you're pooping like a fucking rock star. Go you. Okay. So the other point I wanted to make was this idea of congratulating yourself. And, I don't know how you feel about rewarding yourself if you accomplish something that you set out to do. You do you. I know that for me personally, when I set a goal to do something, I'm like, oh, I got to do something nice for myself. And then sometimes I feel like, okay, it's just another thing on my to-do list. And so I don't do it. But what I do is to congratulate myself and celebrate myself. And that might be something as simple as a little dance or even just an acknowledgement of damn girl, you drank your green juice 3 days a week for a whole month. Yes, sister. You got the groceries for that shit. You made the time to make it. You got a giant jar waiting in the refrigerator for you. Go you, sister. And those kinds of things I think are really, really important because they teach you that you are worthy, hello, Heart Center, of celebration, of love, of acknowledgement. And it helps you to raise your self-awareness around what you are capable of. Also, it's a great antidote to beating yourself up, right? So, and honestly, haven't you had enough of that anyway? The other thing I wanted to say about intentions was to pay attention to your strategy and authority. So remember, the two elements of human design that are most important are your strategy and your authority. So your strategy, how you take action in the world, your authority, how you make decisions. If you don't know what these are, go to my website, lorileaside.com, go to get your chart and run your birth data, and it'll tell you what is your strategy and authority. And how do you make more white space in your calendar, in your planning for your strategy and authority to function? Because here's the deal. if you pack your calendar, if you've got things back to back to back to back to back, you're giving zero room for your strategy and authority to actually function, right? Let's say you're a generator type. Your strategy is to respond. So you've got to have some white space to be able to pick your head up and look around at what life is bringing you in order to respond. If you have everything packed and every last minute of your day planned out, there's no time for that. Or if you're doing it, if you have something come into your purview, it's so much harder to respond to because you're already taking up your time with the thing that you have planned. So I am encouraging every single human design type to add more white space into their calendar. And what I mean by white space is just blocking off time to quote, do nothing. It's just like a nothing space. And guard it like your life fucking depends on it, because the only way, again, that you're going to be able to practice with your strategy and authority is by having these blocks of time. Just go outside and wander around or whatever. Don't make a plan. That's the point. And then just see what life brings to you. Okay, so I think that's really all I've got. I wrote in my notes, now I'm going to go take a dagger to my ear to get it to stop itching. Hello, perimenopause. Anybody else have that as one of your symptoms, like your ears itch? Anyway, okay. So instead of resolutions, think daily check-ins, think, yes, keeping track of your progress, but more out of the opportunity for celebration of yourself. And understanding that if you have an undefined heart center, that you are not designed for consistent willpower. It's going to fluctuate. So your heart center is that little triangle that's kind of between the G center, the diamond, and the solar plexus, the triangle that faces inward. It's the little guy. So if that one's colored in, you're going to have more consistent willpower. That doesn't mean you're going to be able to do something every single day of the year. You might, you are probably, of all the people that could do something every single day of the year, you're the one most likely to be able to do it. And if it's not colored in, if it's undefined or open, then you're going to have less consistency there. And this is just my PSA to stop beating yourself up about that, okay? It doesn't mean that you're not capable of accomplishing things. It just means that sometimes you're going to feel like, I got this, I can go. And sometimes you're going to be like, I need to get horizontal. I just need a break. So thinking about your capacity, where you can block off white space in your calendar and guard it so that you can practice your strategy and authority, and just really focusing on celebrating yourself, appreciating where you're at, and understanding that starting the new year is an opportunity for a reset, but it's not a time of year to beat up on yourself. It's a time of year to ease into some things that work for you. And it's an opportunity to think about this woman that you're becoming and think about, what does she do? What kind of choices does she make? What kind of life does she live? And how can I make those 1-degree pivots to start making those choices and those pieces of her life, making them part of my everyday reality? So that's what I have for you today, loves. So until next time. So if you are interested in the Human Design Planner, I encourage you to check out the link in the show notes. It's going to help you not only track any intentions that you set, but do a lot of really meaningful reflection And live your human design because it's structured so that you can actually practice with your human design throughout the year. Also, I encourage you to get on my email list if you are not, where I will be sharing some readings, opportunities for readings in the coming couple of months, which I don't share anywhere else except for on my email list. And I'm wishing you the strength to let go of what no longer serves you, joy to fill your days, and the clarity to be who you came here to be.